Good morning. Good morning, Miss Kenda. Good morning, everybody. Get my volumes all turned down. Good morning, good morning. Look at that. Everybody's up bright and early on this holiday. Chilly. This is the kind of weather you want to stay in bed. It was nice and refreshing to walk out this morning. So exciting. We're gonna do a little bit of paper crafting, fabric crafting. I got a little bit of vinyl, a little bit of heat transfer. So hopefully a little bit of fun for everybody. I just kicked my chair thing this morning. Yes, happy Halloween. Happy Halloween. A little different Halloween this year, but that's okay. That's okay. We will power through. Yes, I have my Mickey hat today. The Mickey ears won this morning. So we will good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Everybody excited for their weekend. All right. Let me get myself set up here. So, yes, I'm going to try to cover a little bit of everything for everybody today. So I have lots of crafty things. Nothing too terribly difficult in crafty things, though. You don't even have to own a fancy machine for a couple of these things. All right. Good morning. We're going to wait just a few more minutes and yes. All right. Yes. I went home yesterday and made dinner. It's nice. 2 nights in a row I've cooked. Felt good. We had, what did I have? The night before I made 15-minute pepper steak. Last night we had sausage and roasted red pepper soup with egg noodles. So it was delicious. It's nice to have a moment to be able to get into the kitchen because, you know, I love cooking, baking, but I don't get to do much of it. So, all right, let's get started. No, Miss Joanne, it was not HelloFresh. It was all me. We have done HelloFresh in the past. I haven't done it recently just because we've been too busy at work. I have it on pause with HelloFresh, and plus with all of that shipping issues and pandemics and everything, I didn't want to deal with not getting things in time and so on and so forth. But yes, normally we do enjoy HelloFresh. All right, let's get started. I'm going to start with a non-machine required, whether it's sewing machine, you don't even need to have a Cricut, Cameo, nothing. All you need is scissors, paper cutter if you have it, even better. Okay. All right. So first up here, I have little bag toppers for candy bags. Okay. Now, all of the project files that I have used today, I will put up a post in once this is finished. I will put up a post with a link to everything so that you're able to download and print if you would like. So this is really quick and easy, okay? For those that don't think that they can craft, you have a basic printout, okay? Nothing fancy. All I did was, let me get my paper cutter out and ready. And you're just going to cut this apart, okay? And let me get it in here. Not be very good at crafting live on TV here. Okay. Quick and easy. Cut apart, fold in half, attach to a baggie. Okay. So some of you may have in your sewing supplies, if you've taken any sort of quilting class with me, you probably have a Hera tool. Okay. If you are into paper crafting and things like that, you may have a bone folder, or you may have a scoreboard. Okay. And basically what we want to do to help us fold this in half, if we kind of pre-crease the line. So let's just say we're gonna go to 2, okay? So you can take your ruler, you can line it up to 2 inches. This is the curved end of the Hera tool, and you can just run it over right next to the ruler, and then that just kind of pre-folds that for you, okay? It gives you a nicer crease if you pre-fold it versus trying to do so without the crease in it. And then you have, just get yourself a baggie and then a little bit of hot glue or double stick tape, tape it over, seal it shut, and you have just a cute little gift to give away for that. Good morning, Miss Joanne. It is bright and early out there in Oregon. Thanks for being up and joining us. Okay, so that is, there's also one in the file that says pumpkin seeds that you could use for candy corn. You have zombie eyes, goblin teeth, and then bugs and kisses. So I will, like I said, I will put these files up for everybody. Now, for those of you that have cameos, Cricuts, Brother Scan and Cuts, any sort of electronic cutting machine that will cut vinyl, okay? The next project is I have some vases that we can add the some letters to with vinyl. So I've come into, this is the Cameo software, but you can come into whatever software that you have. I typed out the word boo, okay? Sized it to the size that I wanted it to be, okay? I did draw boxes around each of the letters, and the reason for that is, for those that have cutting machines, is that everything that you see here in red is gonna cut. So this is, that box will cut around the outside of the letter B so that I can peel off the excess vinyl easier and not need to get a pair of scissors, okay, in that aspect. Then you're going to take, now we're using sticky vinyl, okay? It doesn't matter if it is permanent vinyl, okay? It could be just regular. This is the perfect project for scrap. This is a technique that we call paint, vinyl, and peel, or for this case, it is just apply and paint and then peel it off, okay? So I have put my letters on, okay, and then I spray painted it. Now this is frosted glass spray paint, okay, that I spray painted and I let it dry. And then after it's dry, let me get, we're gonna take and we're going to peel up the letter and remove it. Okay. Peel everything off. Doesn't want to roll away here. maybe. There. And then one more letter. Then these vases would be cute, filled with a tea light. You could put twinkle lights in them. You could fill them with candy if you wanted, candlesticks, completely your choice. So this is, like I said, a great project for scrap vinyl or pieces that you have, okay? So here is our quick little vase or vases. These vases came, or glass jars, whatever you want to call them, came from the dollar store, Dollar Tree, okay? So they were just $1. I thought about doing mason jars, but mason jars are in extreme short supply in the world, and they're very difficult to find. And a lot of mason jars have imprints on them, so it's hard to get a nice flat surface for the spray painting technique and adhering vinyl to it, because if it's ridged and things like that, sometimes the vinyl or the paint can leak under that. So that's why I opted for this. You could use any glass jar, a glass container, but apply your vinyl, spray paint. Now, if you wanted, let's say these letters, like let's say this was a piece of wood, you could paint the piece of wood one color, apply your vinyl, and then paint the entire piece of wood again in another color. Once it's completely dry, you can peel that vinyl off, and the color that you painted first will show through the where you peeled your vinyl. So it would be a 2-color. I have an image of it, but it's not appropriate for public viewing. It has a bad word in it for one that I have done. But it is, it's just paint, literally paint, vinyl, paint again, and then peel. Miss Joanne, I had the frosted glass spray paint. I had a can of it. It came from I would probably say Michael's or even Lowe's. If I get somebody, if mom and dad are watching this, can you grab me the can of frosted spray paint from the shelf by the back door in the office so that I can show you guys what it is, what it looks like. You could also they also make glitter blast paint. So you could then, before you peel your letter off, if you wanted to glitterify this, you could. So that's just another quick little display. You could I could see cutting like black vinyl bats or spiders and putting here, or even cobwebs would be cute on here as well. Next up, some more candy. I like decorating candy, okay? Tic Tacs. Tic Tacs are a challenge to find in this day and age. Especially, you can't find red ones anywhere anymore. Now, I'm sure you could probably find them online, but I have yet to, I didn't do this soon enough, but that's okay. So this can be done either with scissors, or it can be done with a Cameo or a Cricut. Thank you, Dad. It worked. It just magically appears. So it's Krylon frosted glass, and what I used was the white finish. They sell it in colors, so you could frost like sea glass, that type of thing. So it's Krylon that I used for these. Thank you. So this project can be done for those that have either Cameos, Cricuts. I'm sure the brothers Scan and Cut can do the same thing. I did them with the Cameo, and we did a technique called print and cut. Okay, print and cut. So what we do with print and cut, we print it, we design it inside of, let me show you. Let's do this. And I know that Cricut and Brothers Scan and Cut, I'm sure, have something very similar. I just don't know. Okay, so in the Cameo software, I'm gonna get it right one day here. I have too many machines on the market. We set up a technique called print and cut. So we design our project, and the software is going to put in these registration marks. And then we're going to print this project. Right from here, we're going to do file print, and it's going to go to your home printer. Okay. So when it comes off the home printer, it's going to look like this. Okay. Those same registration marks will be in the upper corners and in one in the lower left corner. You're going to take and put this on the mat of your machine with this in the upper right-hand corner of the mat, specifically making sure that everything lines up with the mat markings. And then we send the design to the Cameo to cut. And it is designed to line up and cut exactly around the edge. So it's going to cut it out for you. Okay. So for those that don't have these machines, all you need is a pair of scissors and you could cut these out. Okay. I printed these on full page sticker paper. Okay. This is just Avery label, nothing fancy. And then you peel it off and stick it over top of the Tic Tac sticker. You don't even need to peel the sticker that's on the Tic Tac container off. I literally, you can see kind of on the ghost that I just stuck it right over top of the Tic Tac label. Okay. Just something fun, cute, that can be done with scissors or with the Cameo. Okay. If you have questions, please feel free to ask here. All right. I have two more Cameo projects, but we're going to do one and then we're going to do sewing, and then we're going to come back to the last Cameo project. The last paper project here are flashlight covers. Okay. So these are designed to fit inside of your flashlight. Okay. So when the flashlight gets used, you know, great for kids, you know, especially if you're indoors for rainy, you know, that type of thing. They can have fun on the wall. Okay. Show it, you know, with, and make them interchangeable, that type of thing. So these were done with the Cameo. I'm going to show you, for those that have those machines, how I did it. Okay. I would turn it on, but I forgot the flashlights. So it's not really going to help if I forgot the batteries, not flashlights. Forgot the batteries. That's there. So let me show you how I did this. Okay. So took a couple of tries to get the right size circle. I wanted the circle to sit as close to the glass of the light of the flashlight as I could, so that it wouldn't shadow or show more. Okay. So I had to play with the size of the circle. I got it sized for this flashlight perfectly, that I don't even need tape to hold it in. Okay. That it fits right down in there. But like I said, I don't have any batteries to try it out with. So I created a circle sized. I drew a circle. So in the Silhouette software, we pick up the ellipse tool. If you hold down the shift key while you draw, it will draw an exact circle. Okay. Oops. Don't do that. So hold down, shift, draw your circle. Okay. Then you could size that circle to any size you wanted it to be. It doesn't need to be, you don't need to draw it the exact size that you plan to use it. Okay. You can come into your transformation toolbar, and you can come to the scaling window and put in the exact dimensions that you want. So if you didn't draw it as a true circle, meaning the height and width were both the same, you could come in and fix that. Now, I like to work in my silhouette. I like to work with color. It just helps me visualize a little better as to what is going on with my cutout. I have a couple of silhouette drawing, black and white outline drawing pieces that I have found via Google. Okay, so you could go to Google and type in silhouette Halloween outline drawings, anything along that lines, and you can grab them from there. So I brought them in to the software. I'm going to place it on top of the circle that I want to use. And then I'm going to select both of them so that both my tombstone and my circle are selected. And we're going to then open the modify panel. And this is where you would find your options to weld and subtract and divide and things like that. We're going to do a subtract all. And basically what that does is it looks at the shape, the two shapes, and anything that's overlapping, it deletes. Okay. So if I now move the tombstone, it has cut out the section that is overlapped, and I'm done with the black image. Okay. And this now becomes the image that I would cut out. Okay. So the same thing was done with my ghosts and my bats and things along that lines, and you could do anything that you wanted for these cutouts. I cut them out of standard cardstock. They weren't cut out of any fancy paper. And actually it was scrap cardstock. I save a lot of little pieces, probably more than I should. But this came in perfect because I had to cut. I have a couple of extra pieces and sizes of things so that I can was testing out the size of my flashlight. So you can easily size these to any flashlight that you want to use. Okay, and just fun. Okay, quick, inexpensive. You know, everybody's got flashlights around the house and things along that lines, and it's perfect for that thing. Okay, so I'll save them for the boys, Wendy. Since I won't see them before Halloween, they can have them after. They're mine. Oh. Big Daddy says they're his. You can't have them. All right. Let's talk about a sewing project. Let's talk about some pumpkins. I've got 3 size pumpkins that can be made. Okay. And we're going to talk about that. All right. On to pumpkins. Pumpkins start with fabric, and depending upon what size you want to make, a template. Okay. Or you can just cut it out, but the template's there to help us make sure that this gets cut on the bias. Okay. So we're going to cut the shape of our pumpkin, this rectangle, out on the bias so that we can, it's just going to help the fabric kind of curl around and into a circle-ish a little bit easier and lay nicer. So we take a piece of fabric, we lay it out, and we're going to put this on our fabric so that this bias line, okay, so this is your horizontal and vertical, and then we drew this line that's 45 degrees through the middle here. And we're going to lay this on our fabric. So if my selvage is here, this is going to run parallel to the selvage. Okay. Then we're going to cut around this shape to give us a rectangle. Okay. We're going to take that rectangle, we're going to fold it in half, and we're going to sew down the end to turn this into a loop. Okay. I have a couple steps done on this one, but I was trying to eliminate the need to go to the sewing machine quite as much. We're going to sew this into a tube, okay? 1/4 inch, press the seam open. we're going to baste around both the top opening and the bottom opening, and we're going to do so twice. So we're going to do one at 1/4 of an inch and another line of basting at 3/8 of an inch. And we want to leave long tails at the beginning and at the end, okay? Because we need to gather this. Yes, we cut all of these were cut out of fat quarters, okay? If you're doing small pumpkins, you can get more than one. I think you can get two medium pumpkins out of a fat quarter, and it may be one large pumpkin out of a fat quarter. Okay. I will put out the pattern and the information for this after I finish being live today, so that you will have all 3 measurements versus me throwing them out there right now. Okay, so I'll put it out there for you. We're going to gather around the top and the bottom opening. We're going to take the bottom, we're going to gather it shut. Okay, once it's shut, we're going to take it to the sewing machine and sew. Okay, so that it's nice and sealed. Okay, that you don't have any hole, you don't have a hole in the bottom. Okay, we're going to then turn this right side out. Okay, and we're going to gather around the top. Okay, now hopefully, let me get my threads here. Now, as I gather around the top, I'm going to stuff my pumpkin. Okay. If you don't have stuffing in the house, you can use scraps of batting. Okay. Our pumpkins, the pumpkins that I showed you were stuffed with scraps of Dream Puff batting that are all cut off the edges of a quilt, just kind of cut into pieces and stuffed in that pumpkin. Okay. And then we're going to gather this shut. Find my threads here. All right, once you have this gathered, we're also going to go to the sewing machine and we're going to sew across this, okay, so that this stays shut. Okay, so give me 1 second. We're going to finish gathering this, and then I'm going to run to the sewing machine real fast, and we're going to sew this shut.
When you're there, I'll entertain you.
Okay, Dr. Mike is going to entertain you while I run to the sewing machine. I know that just thrills you to death. All right, I'll be right back. Give me 1 second.
Now is my big chance. I've waited for years to star in something. I believe that I am star-like material. But once again, he's already done. Damn it.
Okay. So it doesn't need to be pretty because this is going to become the bottom of the pumpkin. Okay. So let me trim my threads here. All right. We're going to tuff it, this pumpkin now. Okay. So what we're going to do is you're going to take embroidery floss. Okay. Embroidery floss, 6-strand, pearl cotton, whatever. You just need, it could be twine too. It really doesn't matter. If you're going to use floss, leave all 6 strands together. Okay. We're going to tie a knot in the end, and I'm going to use a doll needle, D-O-L-L, not dull, a doll needle, okay, because I can go farther in. So I'm going to go through the pumpkin, and I'm going to come out the top of the pumpkin. Okay. I'm I'm going to take my thread and I'm going to wrap it around. Okay. And we're going to go back from the bottom of the pumpkin to the top of the pumpkin again. Okay. And when we do that, we're then going to pull. Okay. We're then going to go again around, up and through the bottom of the pumpkin and pull. And you're going to do this as many times as you want segments in your pumpkin. Okay. I'm going to go one more time here. And then I'm going to go one more time. I'm going to pull real tight. And then I'm going to take a couple stitches, go back down to the bottom. And then we can just tie in a knot. Okay. That's a piece of thread. Okay, and then you can fiddle with your positioning of your little pieces of twine or floss. I did this in a contrasting color, hopefully a bright enough color that you could see it. I was afraid if I went too gold, it would be hard for you to see here today. Once you have your pumpkin done, piece of brown felt, you can roll it up, put a little hot glue on it to hold it together, put a little hot glue down in the middle, okay, and stick your stem in. You could cut a green leaf if you wanted out and glue there as well. You wanted to cover up the bottom of this raw edge here, you could glue a little circle of brown in there as well to be like the bottom of your pumpkin. And then you have a little pumpkin. And they don't hurt if you get thrown at you. So if you have little people, this may be even a cute like Thanksgiving project, you know, maybe like a beanbag toss or something. And these could be, you know, kind of like your bean bags, because you could easily put beans in this as you start to stuff to make it a little heftier if you want to make sure that it, you know, it stood up. But this could easily become, you know, they don't hurt. You can squishy. Okay. So that is your pumpkins. And like I said, I will put a pattern up for you guys, and I'll put a link to where you can find it this afternoon here. Just give me a little bit to get all the information published and up on the website. Wendy has a, she may be at a post in the society group. I know she has a method of making pumpkins with paper towel and toilet paper rolls, okay, with the empty ones. And so I think they're empty. No, I don't think they're empty. I think you leave the toilet paper and the paper towels are left on it. But to make, if you wanted taller pumpkins, things like that. So that is your little pumpkin sewing, hand sewing craft for today. All right. And last up is the one that's going to make, I don't want to say a mess, but
for my silhouette, oh, yes, Miss Cindy, perfect project for kids. Yeah, I mean, it's very easy to do. You could really, I've even seen them. If you have the natural colored golf tees, using the golf tee or even a green golf tee
as the stem. Okay, so you could use a golf tee. I meant to grab that pumpkin. It's that pumpkin's at home on the shelf. I forgot it this morning. Obviously sidetracked by getting ready for this. Huh. I don't know why. Yes. I know. I'm working on sound. does it sound better now? Okay, sorry. I think we fixed the sound issue. Okay, anyway, back to this project. But yes, this could be a very easy project for kids to do. I've also seen it, like I was saying, I don't know when the sound messed up because I don't get to hear myself. Using a golf tee as the stem. So if you've got golf tees around, you can glue those in there and have them kind of push them down to have them stick up to kind of look like that. They would hurt though if they got thrown at you. So I wouldn't use those if you were. I'm gonna take my mask and my hat off for the moment because we're gonna get. All right. For my silhouette Cricut Brother Scan and Cut, I'm gonna talk about silk screening. Okay, because we do have the ability to silk screen, okay, with our machines. We're going to, and if you don't know what silk screening is basically using a pattern, okay, that has blocked out certain areas, and then we apply paint. So most of the t-shirts, your concert shirts, most t-shirts are silk screened at some point. So with the cameos and the Cricuts and the silhouettes, you're going to need a frame. Okay. This one is from Speedball. Silhouette Cameo has a silk screen kit that has a frame that comes in the kit along with the silk screen mesh and things along that lines. The kits will be here soon. They were delayed in arriving. So if you're interested in a silk screen set, a starter set, let me know. I do have, this is what the refills for this silk screen are. It's a 12 by 15, 3 pieces of 12 by 15 mesh and 3 pieces of heat transfer. So you cut your item out of HTV. Okay, so we're going to cut whatever you want to screen print, you're going to cut out of HTV. You're going to remove what you want to be paint from the HTV. So when this all cut out, I removed everything that you see here in that. I peeled out that HTV and went with this design. I then ironed that to my mesh. Okay, so let me show you. This is silkscreen mesh. Let's see if I can get a piece, just a section of it. Okay. So I took this, I placed a piece of freezer paper down on my ironing board. I put my mesh down, and then I put my HTV on top of that, covered that up with another piece of parchment or a piece of parchment paper, and ironed. So you're pretending like, for those of you that have done heat transfer vinyl, you're pretending like the mesh is your shirt that you would be ironing to. Once the mesh is adhered to your HTV, it's stuck there. We then load it into the frame. Now the Speedball frame uses these channels. The Silhouette frame, I think, has got an easier method of putting in this piece, but this is what makes this removable, so you can use it again and again and again. You're gonna tape off any section that you don't want covered in, you don't want paint to go through. So there's mesh out here that wasn't covered with HTV. So I just filled painter's tape all the way around everything so that only this section has the openings for paint to go through. Okay. I'm going to take my shirt. This is a piece of fabric here. I'm going to tape it down to something so it doesn't move on me. If you're doing it on a shirt, you want to slide a piece of cardboard, poster board, something in between the two layers of shirt so that the ink doesn't transfer to the back of the shirt or to the front of the shirt, depending on where you're silk screening to. Okay. So I'm going to position this on whatever item, shirt, bag, anything along that lines that you want. Okay. I'm going to take fabric paint. Okay. So this is good old fabric paint. I'm gonna go this way because that's the way my squeegee is gonna work. Okay, we're gonna put paint down here so you can see. I'm gonna position this on top, and then we're gonna squeegee it across. Now this is a silkscreen squeegee. You can use a credit card, anything along that lines. We're gonna come in and we're gonna scrape. Okay, I need more paint. I normally use a paintbrush first. Extra paint can go back in the jar once you get everything on here covered. Okay. This squeegee's a little big for the other direction on this board. Cut my design a little bigger than what I should have. Okay. I'm going to squeegee off what I can, put it back in the jar. Okay. Scrape back into the jar. One section that doesn't want to get, there we go. I'll get you. I know it's riveting, riveting. All right. One second. Let me, I did not prepare myself to get quite as messy as I did. And then we're going to lift carefully straight up. And da, 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 da. There it is. Let it dry. Okay. Needs a little practice. That's why I always do it first on scrap fabric before I take it right to my shirt, just so I can kind of have a an idea as to what it is. Some of these sections didn't get quite as much paint. I need a smaller squeegee. Would be much easier. I can get in a little tighter. The yeah, so let it dry about an hour. Okay. And then you're going to iron it to heat set it. And then after it's heat set, he is permanent. Okay. And then you can, this just gets used over and over and over again. Okay. So you just keep using it, you know, so if you have, you know, 10 or 12 shirts you need to do, that is going to be, you know, kind of the way that you want to do it. I should have put gloves on because I've got paint on me, which is fine. It's not the end of the world. It washes off. Okay. All right. So there's nothing in terms of making the piece, just cut it out like you were going to cut this out of HTV and iron it on a project. Okay. So that. And then lastly, I don't want to touch my shirt now, but this little guy here is the freestanding lace spider web and spider that I showed you a few weeks ago when we did freestanding lace. I got him attached to a shirt this morning. Yes. Can you do this with multiple colors? Yes, so you would make a screen for each color that you want, okay? And so you would, you know, maybe this, I would, like, for example, I would cut it 2 or 3 times, okay? And then only peel out what you wanted out of one color, and then peel what you wanted out of the other color, out of the other screen, and do that. So yes, it can be multiple colors. You need to dry. You can just wash this under warm water. That's all I do. I wash it under warm water, and then you can pop it out of the frame if you want for storage. I have some that have lived in frames for a while. You could, another way to do screen printing, kind of generic, is organza and an embroidery hoop. If you wanted to try it, organza and an embroidery hoop. So this, iron it to the organza, put it into a round embroidery hoop so that it's nice and tight, and then work there. I would, yes, put another piece of fabric over top of this when you do iron it, okay? Just to protect if you hit a spot that may not be 100% dry where it's at. But after it is heat cured, you can iron over it with a regular iron. I mean, it's pretty quick drying for the most part, as long as you get this thin enough that it's not thick and layered on top of it. Okay. All right. So yes, that's my freestanding lace spider and spider web in my shirt. All right. Any other questions? I don't want to touch anything. I end up with paint all over me this morning. So that's just a little bit of craftiness for you today, since it is the 5th Friday of the month. I didn't really particularly have a particular topic to do. So in November, we have AccuQuilt the first month. Excuse me. We're going to talk about making turkeys and different ways to make turkey blocks or piece things that look like turkeys. We're going to cover embroidery on towels in the second week. The third week, we are going to talk about different techniques to gather on the machine. So rufflers, gathering feet, basting stitches. We'll talk about the way to gather on a serger and things like that in the third week. And the fourth week, since it's the Saturday after Thanksgiving, I'm going to do some holiday craft. So the same concept. So yes, I will get this turned into a shirt this weekend. I have a shirt that I forgot to take home to wash because I wanted to wash it before. So I will get it washed and get it screen printed for here in the store for display. Okay, so that you can see it. But yes, that is what I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed it, even if you don't do too much paper crafting or cameo crafting with us, but just a little idea of things that you can do for the holiday. So I hope you guys have a great weekend and have a wonderful Halloween. Yes, so here, Wendy's asking how I did my shirt. So I embroidered the lace web and the lace spider, washed them. I laid the web on my shirt, pinned it in place, and then I zigzagged it around the edge and then cut the t-shirt away from behind and then attached the spider to it. So, all right. Thank you, everybody. I hope you have a great day, and we will see you soon. Bye, everybody.